Hey, it's Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com. It is Wednesday. It's October 28th. This will be our chart lesson for today. And it was an FOMC day. The news came out at 1 p.m. my time, which is Central Standard Time. And you can see we sold off instantly and rocketed down. It really was still pretty volatile until about 1 o'clock. And so I marked a couple of trades after 1 o'clock. But for most intents and purposes, you really should have probably been done by noontime and just kind of, watch this or just closed up or whatever. So, um, but you don't want to be in the market when this happens because you can see you could give back all your winnings in just a blink. Obviously, if you're using your stops, you're going to get stopped out. But generally, it's my rule is try to be out by noon. And I did mark a trade around 12:30 here just because I wanted to talk about it because it's a good setup, so I wanted to show it to you. But I don't think I would have taken that trade. And I might now, if I'm already in some runners, I might let them run right up into the news. But I'm not going to enter any trades because it may just start going sideways like this right here, and you get stuck in there and can't get out before the news comes out. So you don't want that to happen to you. So anyway, um, let's back out, talk about the trade. You can see we had a two-tiered channel working up. Let me just show you this real quick. You can see that the price action still works even during the news. It's really volatile, but you get a channel working down, you get a break, a couple legs to a new low, and then it reverses. And then you get a nice channel working up. You got a break here and a couple legs up, but it can just continue to go higher. This thing, we're almost back to 2100 again. So we've taken back all the sell-off from, the big bearishness we had for a couple of weeks there. We've taken it all back. But let's talk about the trades. First trade I saw was this failed second entry long. It looks like it's kind of range. It's got kind of a little bit of an upward bias here, but you've got all this. Let me just put the line on there. I don't have it on there. You can see this resistance right across there. And we get a failed break higher and we start working lower, and you got this channel working down, and you get a little two-legged correction here and a little failed break higher. And so it's a failed second entry long is the main thing I like, but you got enough room to get out before you get to the low. But what I would be looking for here, there's your first leg, and then there's a two-legged correction. That generally leads to another leg. I'd be looking for a measured leg. We went a little bit lower, but you can see it started bouncing right there at a measured move. But when we made this low right across here and had another little failed break lower, I like going long right there. This is a range here, and you can see the resistance right across here. I moved it a little higher. We got more touches up here later, but originally I had this line right there. And it still really fits pretty good there. I'm just going to move it back down and get rid of that other line. But I'd be looking for a measured move down, and but we bounce right here, and then you get more touches across there. So I move my line up, and notice how it bounced right here. But anyway, nice second entry long right here. You're working down first entry, pull back second entry, and you get a nice little bullish type reversal bar down here to go long with. Pulls back right here, confirms this trend line, gives you a second entry long counting off this low here. One move up to first entry, pull back, a nice bullish bar. It went out the low and then turned and went out the high all in one bar. And then you get a failed second entry short right there, chance to go long. And this thing just keeps on going. And at that point, you got to respect these highs here. You want to make sure you can get out before you get to here and here. And right here, you got plenty of, again, it goes out the bottom and turns, it goes out the top, but you got plenty of room there. And notice what happens if you put this all the way up here to the highs. This was the pullback test of that resistance that now acts as support, and it goes higher. But you're working back. There's actually a shorter term trend line here too. You get a break, a couple of attempts at a new low, and you really get a double test of this support resistance line here. And notice how it tries to go lower a couple of times, and you get that bullish reversal bar. And I was actually looking at this. This line right here was my target on a measured move off that high right there. We went right on through that. But that was another way I was looking for a target there. But I like that second entry long right there. There's actually a second entry long counting off the high, but notice we've had no close outside the trend line and retest yet. We get that close outside here, retest attempt, it bounces off twice the same area and then goes higher. And then you get a failed second entry short. Notice the low, pullback first entry, pullback second entry. It's also a breakout pullback long here. It's also a retest of the midline. We shot through the midline, it pulls back and tests it. And that was a great move up right there. That was the best trade of the morning, really. And there is a nice trend line working up through there. See that? You get the break here. And somebody asked me if I'd go long there. No, there is a second entry long, but I'm not going long right there. It's way away from the EMA. We're right into the upper trend channel line. It would have worked, but you don't want to risk that because a lot of times it'll tick higher and trap you in and then turn the other direction. Wait for it to pull back. You'll get a better entry than that. And then now you're working down. You get a close outside a new low and a second entry long with a little reversal bar there. Another chance to go long. It pulls back here and gives you a second entry, but it's not very bullish. There's a couple of bars in a row there. I think you're better off to wait until you get a failed second entry short, and that comes here. And we run right back up, and notice we bounce right off that upper trend channel line. You don't want to go short there because you got a strong trend up here. So you can't go short there. You just kind of have to wait until we get back and see. And that takes you into the 1 o'clock hour. But I told you I want to talk about this one. Again, you've got a short-term trend channel working down right there. You can see that. We overshoot first, and then we get a break. You get one chance to go lower, and then a failed second entry short and a little bar. Chance to go long right there at the lows. So this is also a little trading range. It's right into the 12:30 hour, so it's a little risky. Like I said, I probably wouldn't take it because of the FOMC news, but if this was just a regular day, I'd take that long right there. And look at it, you know, and it runs straight up, and then you get the news that comes out, and boom, everything reverses. But look how the price action still works. You get a nice channel working down, you get a break, couple of legs to a new low, it reverses, and then you get a nice trend working higher here. So there were some trades all up through here if this wasn't late 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So really good trading day. I mean, there were multiple trades, good trades even before 12 o'clock. There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 trades you could take there. There were really nice setups, good, you know, easy scalps, and a couple of them got some nice runners. Yeah, just if you somebody actually sent me an email and asked me what happened here. Make sure you know any volatile news that's coming out. I usually I'll put the medium ones, but I don't pay a whole lot of attention to the medium ones. After you watch them for a while, you tend to know the ones that are going to be critical, and that's always usually going to be the high volatility ones, and they'll list them whether they're high, low, or medium volatility. And if it's high volatility, unless you're real familiar with it, and it does, you know, if it's high volatility, I would just be flat 30 minutes or so before going into that trade, maybe an hour. to be safe, because a lot of times you'll go into these little trading ranges that are just tight like that right there, and it goes for an hour and you can't get out. So you got to be out before you get to that. But we have a news indicator. There's several of them out there that are free. Find one. If you're a member of our site, you can go to our site and download it. It's free if you're a member, and use it. Put it on. It's just a news indicator, and what it'll do is it'll put the news items for the day on here, and it'll tell you where they're high, low. I usually only put the high and medium volatility ones on my chart. I don't put the low ones on there because I don't care too much about them. They usually don't affect the market. So, and I have mine set to buzz me about 10 minutes before, just so I can remember, and just in case, and make sure I'm flat. But if it's a high volatility like FOMC or something, I'd get out early. So you may, you want to make a note of, and they'll be in red up here if they're high volatility. If they're medium, they'll be in green, and I think low volatility are yellow. So if you don't have that news item, you can go to, there's several websites that list them every day, and just go check it out and make sure you know when the high volatility ones are coming out. And just be aware of that, because that can get you in a lot of trouble. Because if you were long, which you should have been going into this big move here, and suddenly it reverses, like I said, if you're following the rules and you have your stops where they're supposed to be, you're going to get stopped out. But you could give back a good bit of your profit here in just a couple of seconds. So, and if you're doing some other dumb things, you could get burned and give back a week's worth of profits here. So, and I know people do that every day. I know I did it when I first started trading. I'd make that mistake myself. I wouldn't have a losing trade for a week or two, and then I'd have one losing trade and give back all my profits. You cannot do that. As a scalper, you got to follow that 2-point rule. And then if you have a lot of losers, you still are going to have a hard time breaking even. You got to get in, 75% plus, but that's doable. And we have people that do it every day that do just exactly what we're doing right here. So it can be done. But anyway, not much else we can talk about today. My throat's bothering me again. It's been raining here the last couple of days, and my throat's just, I don't know I guess it's something to do with the weather, but I'm having a little hard time talking today. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. We'll be back again to do it tomorrow. Tomorrow is Thursday, yep. We'll be back to wrap the week up tomorrow. Hope you're having a good trading day. I hope you're having a good trading week, and that you did have a good day. And again, if you're not familiar with what news and what it can do, make sure you fix that today. And it's obvious by a couple of questions that some of you didn't know this was coming out, and you got surprised probably. So, but anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. This is Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.